from hitthatline.com and across all of the ESPN Arkansas platforms, and in association with the Arkansas Sports Network, it's the only in-depth high school sports podcast in the state of Arkansas. It's Primetime Preps. And here's your hosts, Brad Caldwell and Bill Harshaw.
To the third episode, season 2, Primetime Preps. Brad Caldwell, Bill Harshaw here, bringing you all the high school action. Bill, you know, it's always different with us. We're in different places today, getting ready for Pottsville tonight, Pottsville and Ozark. We're going to be there calling that game on the Russelville Sports Network, which by the time that they get to, or they hear this, it'll be already happening.
It'll be over with. We'll already know who won by the time they watch this.
Exactly. But with that being said, we've got a game tonight. We've got a game Friday night. Everything is just kicked up. Conference action is gone and going, and I mean it is just full tilt right now in high school basketball. State playoff brackets came out. State playoff hosts came out this last week. And, man, it just basically, I feel, you know, about like we did with football, you know, everybody been questioning about, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to make it through.
I think so. And that's the thing that you know, the beginning of the football season, you're very correct. It is very reminiscent of early football season as this thing goes along because, you know, we started the basketball season and there were a lot of cancellations up in the beginning, early parts of the year. And we start to wondering, well, how far are we going to make it through this season? Well, it looks like we may do it.
Yeah. So I just we'll touch on these right now. State tournament sites for each classification. Class 6A, you got Fayetteville up there in that mostly new facility they've got there. Class 5A, you got Hot Springs. I'm assuming that that's actually going to be at the Bank of the Ozarks Arena, which will be where the state finals are being hosted. Class 4A, you have Morrilton. Love Morrilton's facility. We were there last week. Clinton has an incredible facility as well. They host the Class 3A state tournament. That's for Bill and I. You've got Clinton, Morrilton, and Hot Springs all within driving distance, along with Fayetteville. That's going to be fun. And then you got Class 2A, you got Melbourne. And then in Class 1A, you've got Westside Greers Ferry hosting each of those respective tournaments. On the regional side of things, Class 4A and below host the regional tournaments. You've got North region hosted by Ozark. No shock there. Morrilton being the one that's hosting the state tournament. The regional tournament, that's Ozark. Ozark loves hosting those tournaments, man. Blytheville, and their arena, going to host the East Regional, and Star City with their brand new facility. First year opened. They will be hosting the South region. So in Class 3A, you've got Bergman hosting Region 1 and Manila hosting Region 2, and actually unlisted in Region 3 and 4. Probably can look that up. I'll get a chance to look that up here just shortly. Class 2A, you've got Magazine hosting the West Regional. You've got the Central Regional, you got Melbourne. The North Region, you've got Rector. And the South Region, you got Caddo Hills. Been hearing some good things about Caddo Hills, by the way. And then Class 1A, your Region 1 is not listed. Izard County is hosting Region 2, Mount Vernon, Enola, Region 3, and Emerson, Region 4. And those are coming up very shortly, Bill. District tournaments coming up the week of Valentine's Day, and then the next week will be regional, and then the very last week of February into March will be state. And here we go once again. And Bill, I will tell you, I love football. I do. But tournament time in basketball, there's something about tournament time in basketball that I just enjoy.
Yeah, they call it March Madness for a reason. And, of course, it's in late February here in the high school ranks. But it's madness. It doesn't matter what level it's on. When you have that basketball tournament style going on, you're in for a treat. And this year should be no different.
No, it should not. It should be fun. I'm sure that it's going to be limited. I don't know how many they're letting in. I haven't seen the official ruling on that. I'm sure that they've got it out, but it's still tournament ball. And I would assume that AAA is probably going to allow at least some live streaming, some stuff like that. I got a $150 bill in the mail the other day for the football game that we did at Rivercrest, so that was fun. But I don't know what the policy is going to be on that, but I figure that they'll allow some more streaming, that sort of thing. So it's going to be a good time there in the state tournament coming up in just a couple weeks.
I know I'm looking forward to it. I know the kids are looking forward to it. This is everything that they've, put in extra work, had to go through all of the COVID protocols to make it happen. These kids want to play and they want to win that state championship, and it all goes and starts with regionals and district championships and things like that. So everybody in the state's ready for this to happen. We just don't need anything to happen to make that fall through.
That's correct. And so while we're talking about regionals and state, we can talk about some of the teams that are going to be participating in those regionals and state tournaments here. Got the ARBCA polls out, and just some interesting things here. Every poll is a little bit different. High school, you see a little bit more of a move here and there between different polls. Like one place might have a team number 1, and one team or the other place might have them number 5. But still, you get a decent thought about what's going on. Class 6A, and I think right now the number 1 team in the state overall is Little Rock Central Tigers. With Bryson Warren. I'm not sure Bryson's not the best player in the state as a sophomore. Seems like he's moving in on the scene right now, and really getting some big time looks. And I know that there are people right now that hope that Arkansas gets him. Arkansas is going to have some competition for that young man before it's all said and done. Bryant, number 2 in the state right now. I think they're only lost maybe 2, Little Rock Central, North Little Rock right up there. Bentonville, Fayetteville. I mean, at the top 5 there is really, really, I think, close. I think that's going to be a very fun tournament in the 6A. On the girls' side of things, we talked to Jersey Wolfenbarger a couple of weeks back. How can you go against the Fort Smith Northside Lady Grizzlies? They have been the top team in the state, probably the top program on the girls' side in probably the last 25 years. Conway got some really good girls over there at Conway, Coach Hutchcraft. Bentonville got a Baylor signee there in Miss Duda. I can't remember her first name now. North Little Rock, always good. Fayetteville's kind of the same thing on the girls' side of things, Bill. You've got 5 teams that look really, really similar. And then, you got some others that are going to be really good. That's going to be fun tournaments.
I think it will. I mean, the 6A, you look at those, like I said, the Conway on the girls' side, also north side with Wolfenbarger. She's also a good, and then Little Rock Central girls also making the top 10. So Little Rock Central, both boys and girls, definitely doing things in the right direction.
On the 5A side of things, you got Marion. Marion's very, very tough every year on the boys' side. You've got Maumelle, and I think that's supposed to be, well, I was going to say it's Little Rock Christian. No, it's Little Rock Parkview. That's why.
Little Rock Parkview.
So they've got
justification's not the best on the document we're looking at. We have to forgive us on that. It is Little Rock Parkview girls, tied with Maumelle. I'm sorry, boys tied with Maumelle.
And then Jonesboro. I mean, we saw Jonesboro last year at Russellville, 4th seed out of the East. They came up and won their first round game. Very tough. Sylvan Hills again, number 5. You're talking about a top 25 player in the nation, Nick Smith Jr. in his class. His team is number 5 in the state. That's very unusual. Little Rock Christian's very tough. Pine Bluff, Jacksonville, Russellville. I mean, we know Russellville's a good team, and then West Memphis. And then on the girls' side of things, Greenwood is kind of like Fort Smith Northside. You just cannot leave them out. But then you've got Batesville, Little Rock Parkview. You've got Valonia. I'm sorry, Little Rock Parkview's on the other side, but Valonia, Little Rock Christian, Lake Hamilton. I mean, that's a very good group there. And we talked to Miss Thornton from Aspen Thornton from Lake Hamilton. We got her on the show. Marion, Jonesboro, Russellville making their appearance in. They had a coaching change. Coach Ryan Court actually was coaching boys over at goodness gracious, I shouldn't have started trying to figure out who it was because I would have been able to tell you. White County Central.
Yep.
And he brings his daughter Jaden with him. But when you look at that 5A West, Russellville's the number 8 team in the state listed here by the ARBCA. And they are the 4th team in the West. That's how good that is. So anyway, there's some good ball there in the 5A. And again, I look at every class here. They have a lot of just parity. And 4A boys is another one. You got Magnolia. Got a chance to check out Darian Ford last week. Got a chance to see a replay of his game against Star City. Star City gave them trouble. Star City like 5-10 on the year, gave them a game. Magnolia was able to pull out at the end. Mills 4A, you're not used to seeing Mills in Class 4A. They're always tough. Blytheville, I saw Blytheville last year play against Dardanelle. That was a rough game for Dardanelle. Blytheville got athletes all over the floor.
And Dardanelle had a good team.
They did.
They've lost some guys, but Dardanelle was a fantastic basketball team last year.
Started the year off 14-0, I believe. Yeah, and but boy, they ran into a buzzsaw against Blytheville. Brooklyn, another familiar name over the east side of the state, northeast. We're gonna have to get Chris Hutchinson back on, out of northeast Arkansas. We're gonna have to get him to come back on, talk a little bit about Northeast Arkansas hoops. Joe T in the top 5. Then you got Valley View, Morrilton, Dardanelle, Monticello, and Lone Oak. Let me tell you something, that 4A boys side is deep. On the girls side, you got Harrison topping out. They beat Farmington the other night. So they took the 1 spot. Star City coming in at number 2. Farmington comes in at number 3. Nashville 4. Pulaski Academy 5. Tied with Pea Ridge and Pulaski and Nashville. Those 3 are tied. Then you got Mena, Shiloh, Brooklyn, Morrilton. We saw Morrilton the other night as well. Very good basketball team there on the 4A side of things. Moving on down into the 3A here, and I'm going to have to find my
a different
spot.
tweet. Osceola.
There you go.
Osceola leading the way in the boys division in the ARBCA poll, followed by Mayflower in number 2, and then you have a tie in 3rd, Manila and Dumas.
Yes, and Mayflower in that 3A5 conference, you've got Baptist Prep. I want to call them Arkansas Baptist every time.
I'd still do that same thing.
Baptist Prep is a very good team. They're down here at number 9. You've also got Lamar. You got Atkins. Those are all good teams. That region, that district tournament is going to be a fun tournament to be a part of there. Manila, Dumas, like you said. Bergman, boys and girls, having a fantastic year this year. The girls, number 1 in the state right now, along with Mountain View, number 2. Hoxie 3, Manila 4, and CAC tied at 4. And then you got the Clinton girls. They're coming in at number 6 or number 5, however you want to look at that. Rosebud, Harding Academy, Valley Springs, and Danville to round out that top 10.
And I like seeing teams like Valley Springs in there because those are teams that you don't hear, they don't have a football program really. So when you get to hear about them in the basketball ranks, you always want to give them the credit that they deserve for putting a good program on the field.
In the 2A, you've got Caddo Hills. I've heard a lot of good things about Caddo Hills lately. They're number 1 on the boys' side. Mariana Lee, number 2. Flippin' Boys, number 3. England, number 4. Earl, always in that mix there in 2A at number 5. Acorn, Bearden, Melbourne, Dirks, Fordyce, and Tuckerman. We got a lot of ties in this for the top 10.
I can tell you're not from Southwest Arkansas, Brad.
Derricks, right?
It's Dirks, but it's also Acorn.
Acorn. Okay, gotcha. Very true. And then on the girls' side of things, Melbourne, they beat Fort Smith Northside this year. I would think that there's an argument to make that they're the best team in the state, along with Fort Smith Northside. Then you've got Tuckerman, Desark, Bigelow, Marmaduke, Quitman, Salem, Conway Christian, Rector, and Fordyce in the 2A. And finally, on the 1A side of things, how about being a Viola fan right now? You got the number 1 team in the state in 1A in Viola on the boys and the girls side. Now, like I said, this poll lacks some ties here. Kirby and Mount Vernon
Right.
Mineola on the girls' side are tied with Viola. Then you got, on the boys' side, you got Nevada at number 2, Izard County at number 3. They're the defending state champions. Number 4 is Greers Ferry, Westside Greers Ferry. Number 5, the New School. 6, County Line. 7, Bradley. 8, Kirby. 9, the Ozark Mountain School District. 10, Wonderview. And then on the girls' side, you got Westside Greers Ferry. Again, North Fork, Emerson, Sacred Heart, Wonderview, Washita, and Rural Special. And you know one thing about it, Bill, is you can look at these places that have bid on these state tournaments, and those are the ones that feel like that their team can possibly make it through into the state finals, and so they have bid on them. I can tell you for sure that Morrilton feels that way. Fayetteville's in that mix, and then you've got my kids, man, they're out of school right now. Anyway, you know, all of those people feel like they're in the mix for state finals, and that's why they're bidding for that. And so you got Westside Greers Ferry. They're one of those top 4 teams on both sides. And anyway, it's basketball time, man, and we're getting into the middle of it, and there's a lot of good players and people to talk about. But Bill,
and we're going to talk to a few of them coming up here on the
Absolutely.
show. So
that's right. We've got big time players here, and Bill, you give me the order today.
Well, the order that we're looking at here on our rundown is we are looking at we're going to start off coming up next. We have Aspen Thorton on the show, Garrett Schaffer from Ozark, and Kyle Pennington from Russelville. That's the order. Now, Kyle Pennington also brought a special guest with him, and so we'll have that on as well. So it's going to be a great show, and those are our interviews that we have waiting for you here coming up momentarily.
And again, go visit Mike Giroux and Giroux Insurance here in Russellville. Life insurance, you know, you've got Medicare, and really any kind of line of insurance that you want, life, health, Medicare, he's got it there. So go visit Mike Giroux here in Russellville. He's bringing you the Giroux & Associates hotline, and we're going to be back with more Primetime Preps right after this.
Your family, your most prized possession. You want to take care of them. You want to give them the very best. When choosing a pharmacy, you want someone that knows your name, understands you and your way of life. At Rose Drug, they will take care of your family just like you were their own. They will be someone that you can trust with the ones that you love the most. That's Rose Drug in Russellville.
Here, in the heart of the River Valley, is St. Mary's Regional Health System. Here is the area's most comprehensive range of medical services, along with advanced treatment options and responsive emergency care. Here is our team of more than 900 professionals who bring healthcare to life through people caring for people. And it is here where you can count on St. Mary's to always be, because to us, community matters. For more than 90 years, our investment in our community has been unmatched, and today that couldn't be stronger. St. Mary's, we're here for you.
When is the last time you had a life insurance checkup? Does your life insurance plan provide you with critical illness coverage or long-term care coverage? Contact the experts at Giroux & Associates for a life insurance checkup today. Protect your most valuable asset, yourself. Call Mike Giroux at 888-360-8611 to schedule an appointment today.
On the Giroux & Associates hotline on Primetime Preps, you got Star Lake Hamilton guard Aspen Thornton. Aspen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Like I was telling you before, me and your coach go back a long way. Love to hear from the Lady Wolves. Let's talk about the Lady Wolves and the season that you guys have had so far. You guys only got 3 losses on the season, seem to be hitting stride here. Last 2 victories, 70-37 victory over Sheridan, and the victory over Lakeside. I know that's always got to be fun. Beat the Lakeside Rams. So tell us about the season that you guys are having so far at Lake Hamilton.
Coach Conley always schedules really tough teams to get us prepared for conference time. And the losses we've had have been losses that we can learn from, and it's showing stuff that we can work on come conference time and getting ready for the state tournament. And
you ain't lying. He does schedule tough teams here. I mean, you've got Greenwood. Your losses are to Greenwood, North Little Rock, and Valonia. And two of the top teams in 5A, and then one of the top teams in 6A there. So, yeah, absolutely. You guys are really, really tough schedule, along with you got Cabot on the schedule, two really good 4A teams in Nashville and Star City, both those teams there. And then, of course, you've got your 5A South games that you guys have coming up here. And you just beat Lakeside. And this week, well, you guys will have already played Pine Bluff by the time this airs. And then you will have Hot Springs on Friday night. So a lot of good ball to be played there. You signed with Ouachita Baptist in November. Tell us a little bit about why you chose Ouachita Baptist.
I have a really good connection with the coaches there, and I really like their style of play. It's really fast, and that's the way Coach Conley likes to play. So I'm already used to it. And I really I know that Coach Dallimore at OBU is wanting to build a great team, and I want to be a part of that.
And he was very excited about the signing class that they had there at Ouachita Baptist. And I'm quoting from Ouachita. He just said, "I'm really excited about our 5 signees in the 2021 class, not only because of the diversity of skills, but that they add to the program, but also because of their character and competitiveness." Do you fit that bill there as far as competitiveness goes?
Yes, I do not like to lose.
I figure a player of your caliber never does like to lose. They have you down as 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals per game there on the Ouachita website. I guess that would have been last year's stats. Do you got anything, what's going on with this year and how you're doing?
I know that from my sophomore to junior year, all my stats have just gradually gotten better. So this year, everything's just building up. Like, I've been in the gym a lot, just trying to get better, and it's showing through this year. It's my last year, and I'm just trying to do everything I can for the team so that we can win a state championship.
Scored 35 points against Star City the other night. Really good game there. The defending 4A state champions, or one of the defending 4A state champions. You guys, you look to be right in the mix with those teams such as Greenwood, Valonia. I know that Little Rock Christian's in that mix. You guys seem to be right there along with them as far as being one of the top teams in 5A. What are some of the goals that you've got here for your senior year?
Well, I've always had a goal to win a state championship, and it's my last year. So I'm just trying to get in the gym and work on little things that I can get better at just to help out my team.
Tell us about some of your teammates and who's doing what down there. Not only you, because obviously you're the point guard, but there's got to be a lot of things and people to go around you to make this thing work.
Mm-hmm. I know all my, everyone who's playing is getting in the gym, getting extra shots in, so everyone's just building their confidence. I feel like our team has confidence in whoever has the ball. There's not just one person who needs the ball. If anyone else has it, I have confidence in them that they can make a shot. And Taylor has been working on her defense. She can lock anybody up, so our defense has been pretty good. Coach Conley and Coach Robinson always want us to have lockdown defense. That's one of the things that we're known for is our defense.
Yes, and knowing Coach Conley going as far back as I do with him, I remember watching him as a coach at Hector, the boys coach, and that was the thing that he he really stressed was the defensive end of the floor. He told me you're also getting things done in the classroom. It's always good to point that out. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the classroom with you.
This year, I actually took some pretty hard classes like AP Chem and Comp, which are college classes, so I can go ahead and get a head start before I get to OBU. And at the beginning of the year, it was really hard. I was studying, and I was like, it's going to be so hard to get an A, but come to find out, I actually got A's in all my classes first semester, so I was really pleased with that.
What do you plan on majoring in at OBU?
I think I want to major in biomedical sciences because it has everything for me to get into PA school to be a physician's assistant. So that's the road I'm planning on going to.
That's fantastic. It's always good to hear. And I mean that, basketball, for most people ends at some point. Well, it ends for everybody at some point, but most of the time you don't get to play on a professional level. It's awesome that you're getting a chance to play at Ouachita Baptist in the Great American Conference there. Awesome there. That people will still get to see you play from Lake Hamilton and in that area. I'm sure mom and dad are excited about that. So
yeah,
I figured they would be. Tell us a little bit about what you got left here in the 5A South. Some of the teams, that you're kind of looking forward to playing as the season progresses and finishes up.
Tomorrow we play Hot Springs, which is just a crosstown rival, just like Lakeside. It's always fun to beat them. And just everyone, we just got to take one game at a time and win each conference game.
And that's what you guys intend to do. Try to win every conference game. Well, we really appreciate you joining us, Aspen, and we'll definitely be checking things out as the season progresses here and seeing what's going on with Lake Hamilton.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for joining us. That's Aspen Thornton, the Lake Hamilton Lady Wolves, and Ouachita Baptist signee joining us here on Primetime Preps, and we'll be back right after this.
Your family, your most prized possession. You want to take care of them. You want to give them the very best. When choosing a pharmacy, you want someone that knows your name, understands you and your way of life. At Rose Drug, they will take care of your family just like you were their own. They will be someone that you can trust with the ones that you love the most. That's Rose Drug in Russelville.
Here, in the heart of the River Valley, is St. Mary's Regional Health System. Here is the area's most comprehensive range of medical services, along with advanced treatment options and responsive emergency care. Here is our team of more than 900 professionals who bring healthcare to life through people caring for people. And it is here where you can count on St. Mary's to always be, because to us, community matters. For more than 90 years, our investment in our community has been unmatched, and today that couldn't be stronger. St. Mary's, we're here for you.
When is the last time you had a life insurance checkup? Does your life insurance plan provide you with critical illness coverage or long-term care coverage? Contact the experts at Giroux & Associates for a life insurance checkup today. Protect your most valuable asset, yourself. Call Mike Giroux at 888-360-8611 to schedule an appointment today.
Here on the Giroux & Associates hotline, we have Ozark Hillbilly Garrett Schaffer. Garrett, thanks for joining us here on Primetime Preps.
Yes, sir.
All right, Garrett. So you guys are having a phenomenal year at Ozark this year. One of the best teams Ozark's had in many, many years, a very tradition-rich school. I do know a little bit about being an Ozark Hillbilly because I was one at one time, long time ago, and had a lot more hair back then. But Tell me a little bit about your season. What's going on with the Ozark Hillbillies this year?
Yeah, we just started out this summer going every day, 5 days a week, or 5 days out of the week, and 2 to 3 hour practices, just getting after it every day. All of our teammates, all my teammates were dialed in, and just one goal in mind, and that's to get to Hot Springs in the end. But now that we're in the season and getting into the heat of stuff, got mentally and physically locked in with what Coach Johnson has us doing, and how we need to be playing, and how we need to do our offense, and how we need to run our defense, and get physically and mentally right for every game that we play. So it's just been a grind. Let's just put it that way, especially for what we've been going through throughout this year, the COVID. It's just been very, very hard for everybody, but it's just been a grind for us, and everybody has locked in, and it's got us to where we're at now, and we're loving it because we're winning. So,
and you guys are winning. Actually trying to look up your record right now. I don't want to say it wrong. You guys are 12-2. Right? Is that right? 12-2 on the year?
Might be 14-2.
14-2. That's what I need to do my prep, not while we're doing the interview. That would help, right?
I think it's like 14 or 15, somewhere in there.
Wow. Great record there. And you guys won the regional tournament last year.
Yes, sir.
I feel like you guys may have improved pretty good this year. In fact, I just watching from afar here, you guys seem to be one of the better Ozark teams that has been in several years there. Coach Johnson, of course, he's done a great job there at Ozark, as well as Waldron a few years back. But tell me a little bit. You guys beat Morrilton the other night. Morrilton's a team that I got to see just last night, actually, with Joseph Pinion. And, man, just a really, really good team there. Lots of depth. Tell us about that ball game that you guys took down Morrilton.
Yeah, that week was one of our toughest weeks getting ready for that game. We didn't just skip over our Tuesday game that we had, but we won that game, and that next day we were right back dialed in to Morrilton. And Coach Johnson asked me, he said, who do you want to guard? And I said, Joseph. He said, okay, that's all yours. And our offense did what we needed it to do. We slowed the tempo down, I think, is what helped us, because they're a team that obviously likes to get out and run and play fast-paced basketball. And I think we did a really, really good job of slowing the game down to a slower tempo, and I think it really helped us out in the long run.
You guys won 49-45, and really just a signature win on the season. Tell us a little bit about some of the other wins that you guys have this year.
Well, let me think of one. Well, we beat Clarksville, and that game was a hard-fought, very hard-fought game. It wasn't nothing that was handed to us. We had to go out, and we had to be right to actually win that game. And I feel like Clarksville went out and they have played really, really good basketball, but we found a way to get that done. And
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No. I was just trying to think of real good games that we've won.
Well, if you don't know,
Subi got canceled this week.
If you don't know, Ozark and Clarksville, big time rivals there, going way, way back. And anyway, so you guys have got some pretty good wins. You're 12-2. You guys, I think you beat Fort Smith Southside, right? Did you not beat them this year?
Yes, sir, we did. Yes, sir, we did.
And your only 2 losses to a very good Russelville team and a very good Waldron team. So
yes.
Tell us a little bit about your season and what's going on with your recruitment.
Well, this summer I've been more dialed in than I've ever been dialed in because obviously I've had the time because we really couldn't do much. And instead of me sitting at home playing video games or something like that, I was trying to improve my game. I was at the gym almost every day. I had playing travel ball and all that stuff all summer. So I think a lot of that, just me putting in a lot of work on my own, improved my game this year to where it's at now. But I'm still doing training and all that other stuff after practices and stuff like that. But yeah, and college at Springdale was at my game against Robinson, and that next day they offered me. And then I have UFAS is really hot on me, but right now, like with all the scholars, like eligibility, being able to come back and play for some of the kids in college, a lot of colleges right now are kind of iffy with scholarships. So a lot of that stuff is kind of hard. So
yeah,
if I end up at a prep school, so if I end up at a prep school next year or something like that, that's probably why.
Interesting route there. In fact, we talked to another guy that had possible prep aspirations, or actually had a prep school looking at him. But you're a 6'5", is that right? 6'5" wing.
Yes, sir.
And really have improved your game, and your team has improved throughout the season here. And man, just looking at your schedule here, you guys got big game Friday night against Dardanelle. Yep. Big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been a rival for ever since I've been playing through Ozark. It's always been head to head with them. I think my sophomore year we played them 5 or 6 times, and all those games were really, really heated games. And they always have a bunch of solid players and a lot of players that are playing hard. And they have a kid that got an offer from Tech, and he's probably their best. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
So if we figure out a way to stop him and make their non-shooters score the ball, I feel like we'll have a really good chance of winning that game.
And I think you're talking about Martez Jackson there at Dardanelle. So yeah, very good player there for the Sand Lizards. What are your goals for the season? What are your team and individual goals?
Well, my team individual goals is obviously trying to get to the state championship. And I feel like that's everybody's, but our past 2 years we fell really short, losing in the first round of the state playoffs both years that I've been playing under Coach Johnson. And it's just hit me in a different way that has pushed me to want to move further into the championship, like move further into state and get deeper into it and hopefully win that title. But I feel like with my group of guys as a team, we've came together and we've been playing really well. We're all trying to be leaders on and off the court. But my individual goals are always been trying to be that main leader on the court and never let my guys' head go down. So it's been a work in progress with one of our younger players, which is Cooper, and he's a freshman this year, but he's a really solid player. It's just sometimes as a younger player like that, it's hard to keep your mind right in a type of situation like that. And I've been trying to just help him through a lot of the stuff that we've played through and not letting him get his head down. And I've just tried to keep my leadership at the top of its level throughout all of our games so far. So, and it's just really, really great what our team and what leadership can do.
All right, that's Garrett Schaffer of the Ozark Hillbillies joining us. He is one of our hometown heroes right here on the Jerome Associates Hotline, and we'll be back with more Primetime Preps right after this.
Your family, your most prized possession. You want to take care of them. You want to give them the very best. When choosing a pharmacy, you want someone that knows your name, understands you and your way of life. At Rose Drug, they will take care of your family just like you were their own. They will be someone that you can trust with the ones that you love the most. That's Rose Drug in Russelville.
Here, in the heart of the River Valley, is St. Mary's Regional Health System. Here is the area's most comprehensive range of medical services, along with advanced treatment options and responsive emergency care. Here is our team of more than 900 professionals who bring healthcare to life through people caring for people. And it is here where you can count on St. Mary's to always be, because to us, community matters. For more than 90 years, our investment in our community has been unmatched, and today that couldn't be stronger. St. Mary's, we're here for you.
When is the last time you had a life insurance checkup? Does your life insurance plan provide you with critical illness coverage or long-term care coverage? Contact the experts at Giroux & Associates for a life insurance checkup today. Protect your most valuable asset, yourself. Call Mike Giroux at 888-360-8611 to schedule an appointment today.
Primetime Preps on the Giroux & Associates hotline. We've got Russelville head coach Kyle Pennington and senior guard Trey Allen. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
You bet.
All right, so Russelville 9-4 on the season, rolled off several wins here in a row here, looking at 6 in a row here as you guys have gotten into conference play, 69-42 victory over Alma. Let's just talk about the season so far, Coach, and let's talk about what your kids have done. This has been kind of a little bit of a different season. You guys were rated at the very top of 5A last year, kind of a little bit under the radar this year. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with Russelville.
Yeah, I think that we've kind of built our program here with this being the third year with me as the head coach. That Trey Allen's third year, such a big part of what we've done. We've made a name for Russellville across the state, and we've done that by playing a really tough schedule. And this year, that was no different. Our non-conference schedule was very tough. We had some quarantines and some other things that had some guys out for some games. And so, early on in that non-conference, I think we were 6-4 in non-conference. And so now we've gotten to start the conference play and 4-0 in conference. So 10-4 overall. And just feel like our guys are really locked into what we're doing now. And we're really on an uptick here, and excited about the future here as the conference season goes on.
Yeah, you do have a tough non-conference. You got a tough 4A team in Ozark. You got Bentonville West, Sylvan Hills. We know all about them, and Nick Smith Jr. there, top 25 player in the country. Bentonville sitting at the top of a lot of polls right now. Them and Fayetteville, along with a couple Little Rock schools. Fayetteville's included. Conway, you got a big win over Conway. So, yeah, you guys definitely have played a tough schedule here to get where you're going, which is at the top of the 5A West for the third season in a row here. Heard a stat the other day that you're 29-3 in 5A West play as a head coach. It's a big turnaround there since you've gotten there. What is it that you've done at Russellville to kind of just get the thing going in the right direction and get it going to where it is today?
It starts with you got to have talented players, So the first thing I want to do is point to this guy right here. This is the third year that this guy's been with us. So man, he's got a lot to do with it, and his teammates have a lot to do with it. But I think, on top of that is trying to hold talented players to a high standard, and that's really hard to do day in and day out. And there's times we butt heads, and there's times where it's not, always pleasant. But at the end of the day, if we all understand what our goals are and what the vision is for our program, I think that once we all understand that, that's it. And, I think it's important to build relationships with everybody within the program, and, that everybody knows that everybody cares for each other. And I'm not just talking about, the head coach and whoever people think is the best players. I'm talking about everybody, and in that locker room, it's very important when the coaches aren't in there, how those kids talk to each other. And so we're just trying to build that positive culture each day, and it's not easy all the time, but there's a lot that goes into this, and a lot of people that deserve a lot of credit for that. When you said 29-3, this man's 29-3. He's out there on the floor, and he and his teammates have made some really big plays in big moments that have made me look pretty good. And it's more about those kids. And I know I say this all the time with any media outlet, but that is what it's about. And I think if we can keep it on that, then you have a chance to be successful.
I'm going to get to you and Trey in just a second, but last question for you, Coach. You've worked under some really good coaches. Tell us about some of those guys that you've worked under before you got to Russelville.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to when I was in college. I worked for a junior high coach in Springdale at Southwest Junior High named Steve Price, and he's a guy that played for the Razorbacks in the 70s. Could have coached high school for a long time and been very successful, but he just found his niche there at Southwest Junior High and won tons of conference championships, won some regional championships in junior high. And man, it was just really good to get to work with him and learn the game and how to teach it to younger kids. And I think that's really helped me as I've grown. And then worked under Brad Stamps, who was the head coach at Springdale High School at the time. And that's kind of where I've built the relationship and the culture piece of what I want our program to look like. He does a heck of a job with his teams now at Fayetteville, and just been very successful. And then I worked for Scott Boland for 2 years at Harbor, who has won multiple state championships. And he just really taught me how to think outside the box. You don't always have to do what people think is the norm in coaching. You don't always have to go by what others think. Think for yourself and think outside the box. And it just really grew me a ton. And then the other thing that Coach Bowen did for me is just he had seen so much basketball at so many levels. It was every day. I just tried to be a sponge and soak in anything I could from him. And, the good part is I still get to speak to these guys, Coach Stamps and Coach Bowen. And it's been good to lean on them as well, still as mentors for me.
A lot of cool names, a lot of good experiences there. You came out of Northwest Arkansas and really benefiting Russellville quite a bit here as you've been in your third year. Things have really gone well for the Cyclones, one of the best periods they've had since the early 90s. Trey Allen going to be one of those greats by the time it's all said and done here, one of those Cyclone greats. Trey averaging almost 16 points per game and filling up the stat sheet here, 7 rebounds a game. One thing that stuck out to me along with the 4 steals that we talked about here. Trey, tell me a little bit about how you're getting things done on the court this season.
Early on in the game, I try to get my teammates involved, which will spread the defense out for me later on in the game. And I also try to get at least, try to get 2 rebounds a quarter, try to do that to help my team. And always trying to get my teammates involved and leading them on the court as well.
Well, you have definitely done that. Third year in a row here. I say third year. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Let me back up. You're a 2-time All-State player, 2-time All-Conference player here, on track to be a 3-time All-State player for the Cyclones. Tell us a little bit about what that's like.
It's hard. It's a lot of hard work. We work hard every day in practice, and bumps and bruises come along. You just got to keep pushing through it. It's a grind.
It definitely is.
Cliche as that sounds.
And like you said, you're 29-3 as a player in the 5A West. I can't remember the overall record there in the last 3 years. 50-something and something. A lot more wins than losses. And you guys have been really good this year, and over the last 3. Tell us a little bit about that. You have been one of those guys that have set the foundation for Cyclone basketball. Tell us how that feels.
I kind of feel like an extension of the coaches. I mean, that's what a point guard really is. And it's like, I know they're going to, like, all the younger guys are going to be looking up to me to show them how it's done. And it's a little pressure at times, but it's a good feeling to, know that they're counting on me.
Tell us what
I can help them get better.
Tell us what you've added to your game this year as a senior.
As a senior, the films over the last few years have shown that I love to attack the paint, and I've had to add my jump shot to the game. Mid-range threes, and I've also had to learn how to facilitate a lot better than I did in the past. Because in the past we've had Taylor and Peter that people keyed on more than me. We've had Cade Schaffer that they've keyed on. And I feel like a lot of the teams that we've played have keyed on me now, and I've had to facilitate a lot more.
Yeah, but you definitely have attacked the paint well throughout your career. I remember being at that Bologna game, I guess it was last year, I believe, where you went down and made the game-winning layup. You guys are setting up here. You're 4-0 in the conference. Got Mountain Home this week. By the time this show airs, you'll have already played Mountain Home, and then Siloam Springs, and then the big one at Bologna here in about a week here. A lot of things are going to happen here in the 5A West. Tell us a little bit about those opponents there, Trey, and just what you're seeing out of those guys.
That's a tough one. We're coming up on Mountain Home, and they have a pretty good guard on Wyatt Gilbert. That's his name. And Wyatt Gilbert, that's gonna be a good matchup for us at the guard spot. But haven't really watched much film on them yet, even though it's tomorrow. But I need to get on it. But they're gonna be a good opponent, and I haven't looked past them yet because we don't look past anybody. Every game there's a chance to go 1-0.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
So
you guys are really good.
Once this game's over, then I'll get to film on next team.
Okay. Man, seen some stuff on you this year. One of the highlights that I've seen of you is a 2-hand fall slam here this year. Of course, I know you've always been able to get up, but that seems to be something that you've added just a little bit to your game as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It comes with rebound. I try to rebound a little more this year, so I'm watching it come off the rim a lot better than I did have in the previous years.
Who's looking at you this year as far as schools go? Who are you getting recruited by?
I've talked to Tarleton State, Dallas Baptist University. I've talked to Iowa, or not Iowa. Is it? I think it was Iowa. Pretty sure, Iowa State or something like that. But I've talked to Tech. I've talked to UAPB, UALR.
Okay.
Talked to a lot of schools around this area.
Gotcha.
And I've talked to school in Kansas. I think it's Labette.
Okay. So if a lot of people don't know you, they wouldn't know that your dad played at Arkansas Tech University as a 30-year-old guard and was a fantastic player for Tech. I think you were around at that time. I mean, your dad, you were born at that time, right? Do you know anything
Yes,
about
sir.
your time or your dad's time at Tech?
Yeah, I still watch some of the little clips that he has on YouTube, and I remember watching some games where when I was old enough to actually pay attention, I wouldn't be in the stairs playing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching a game where he got an amazing putback dunk in the game right there in Tech Coliseum, and hearing the arena just go crazy. It was a pretty good moment.
Yeah,
But
it was pretty amazing to watch a guy at 30 years old go and be what he was. He was just a really incredible player there at Tech, and a lot of good memories. And it really wasn't that long ago, just to be honest. And now here you are playing for the Cyclones and doing your thing and helping Coach Pennington and the rest of the crew down there set the program up for more success they've had in about 20, almost 30 years. So, Trey, we really appreciate you guys. Coach Pennington, appreciate you guys joining us here on the Jerome Associates hotline. And we're going to be keeping up with what's going on with the Cyclones throughout the rest of the year.
We appreciate you a lot, Brad. It's always good to be on with you guys. And, again, we're excited about what this season holds in the future, and go Cyclones.
All right. That's Trey Allen and Coach Kyle Pennington here joining us on the Jerome Associates hotline on Primetime Preps, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Your family, your most prized possession. You want to take care of them. You want to give them the very best. When choosing a pharmacy, you want someone that knows your name, understands you and your way of life. At Rose Drug, they will take care of your family just like you were their own. They will be someone that you can trust with the ones that you love the most. That's Rose Drug in Russelville.
Here, in the heart of the River Valley, is St. Mary's Regional Health System. Here is the area's most comprehensive range of medical services, along with advanced treatment options and responsive emergency care. Here is our team of more than 900 professionals who bring healthcare to life through people caring for people. And it is here where you can count on St. Mary's to always be, because to us, community matters. For more than 90 years, our investment in our community has been unmatched, and today that couldn't be stronger. St. Mary's, we're here for you.
When is the last time you had a life insurance checkup? Does your life insurance plan provide you with critical illness coverage or long-term care coverage? Contact the experts at Giroux & Associates for a life insurance checkup today. Protect your most valuable asset, yourself. Call Mike Giroux at 888-360-8611 to schedule an appointment today.
Time Preps, final segment here. And Bill, we got to get all the preliminaries out of the way. Probably should have done this in the first segment, but make sure and go give us a 5-star rating, on iTunes, so that people can let people know that you're watching Primetime Preps, and then help them get their name out there. These kids, they deserve it. And so we want you to give us some love here by saying that you enjoy Primetime Preps.
Not only that, but the Twitter. Yeah, the Twitter.
Yeah.
We've branching out a little bit into Twitter with Arkansas Sports Network at AR Sportsnet, and getting a lot of feedback. We were talking, off air about how there's so much more football than there is basketball, but so much less coverage of round ball than there is on the oblong side of the ball. So, Twitter is the way to go when it comes to finding a lot of these stats. There's just so many games, so many practices, so many things going on that, a lot of these coaches don't have either the opportunity or the manpower or just the time to update stats and things like that. So, thank you to everybody who is already following us on Twitter. And if you're not following us, you should be. And if you get a good score, you get a good athlete that's putting up some primetime numbers, we need to know about it. Hit us up on Twitter and let us know.
Absolutely. So go at AR Sportsnet there, and you can find us there. The big red logo. I don't know. There's probably other Arkansas sports networks on there, but there's only the real one, and that's ours at AR Sportsnet. So that being said, let's get to some of our primetime performers. Now, these aren't the primetime performers, but like a guy like Kendrick Juniel, he was on our show last week, one of our hometown heroes, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 5 steals, 3 assists in their big win over Parker's Chapel. We've got Riley Marshall, 19 points, 4 made threes, and a loss to Jacksonville, 6'2" point guard. Riley is a very good player if you hadn't got a chance to see him. I actually saw Riley in the 7th grade, believe it or not, at Lamar. And very good ball player then. He's a very good ball player now. And really doing big things there at BB, even though they did lose to Jacksonville. BB's in a tough conference there when it comes to having to play the likes of Jacksonville and Little Rock Parkview and all of those. That's a tough draw. We got Isaac Stannick on here, but we're going to get to him in just a minute. I think that's it for now. We got, let's see here. Got Richard High from Osceola, 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in their victory over Walnut Ridge. Russelville picked up a big victory last week against Alma, 69-42. Right now they sit at the top of the 5A West. We had Coach Pennington on, talked a little bit about that one. And, man, just a lot of
good. Here's another one, Nick Smith Jr. In Sylvan Hills, when they defeated Little Rock Christian a few days back, had 22.7 assists, 6 rebounds in the 78-62 win over Little Rock Christian. So that's another good performance.
And Nick Smith Jr. needs to come on Primetime Preps. We've been trying to get that done for a while now. Somebody let Nick know we got it. We want him on Primetime Preps.
We're watching you, Nick.
Exactly. Top 25 player in the nation. How can you not want him? But
you got to get him in.
Let's move on to our Primetime performers of the week. And this week we have Brett Gardner of Batesville Southside, 33 points in their victory over Jonesboro Westside, 61-50.
Over half the points for Southside Batesville coming by way of Gardner. So what a performance by that young lady.
Izzy Higginbottom, 31 points versus Marion. That's nothing new for Izzy. Izzy is a Missouri signee. And then moving on, we got Madeleine Atkins of BB. They beat Episcopal Collegiate 44-41. She had 17 points, the junior point guard for the Lady Badgers.
On the boys' side of things, Davian Bowman out of Akron had 32 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 5 blocks against Lavaca. That was a 51-50. I can't really see it. It's pretty small on that.
61-56.
61-56 score. So what a performance by Bowman in the small town of Akron just outside of Mena.
Isaac Stannick.
There you go.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but Isaac is the nephew of one of Hector's best players ever. And, of course, some people might say, well, that's Hector, man. There's not very many good players. There's a lot of athletes that come through Hector.
Yes, sir.
Including the all-time leading three-point shooter in college basketball history, believe it or not. That's a nugget for you, Brandon Cole. But Isaac Stannick come through with 32 points of his own in a 76-49 victory over the Southside B branch there. And I tell you what, Stannick is a big-time ball player there.
I always like watching him when I see him in action. Stannick is a force to be reckoned with, and he showed that against Southside B branch.
Ethan Clowser, 26 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds in their victory over Dover, which was a makeup game on Saturday. Big victory there for the Baptist Prep Eagles. Like I said, Baptist Prep Mayflower are really sitting at the top of that league there. You've got Atkins and Dover kind of bringing up behind them, but still a very good league over there. Jessieville as well. Very, very good league there. It's going to be a fun district tournament, and then on to regionals there out of the 3A5. So, well, Bill, as the old church used to say, and I don't know if everybody else's church used to say this, but I'm going to say this: all minds are clear. Is that right?
Well, all ballots are clear in the East, so we'll see. We'll go with that.
There we go. Well, Bill, we're going to wrap it up today and say so long. So we'll be at Pottsville tonight. You'll get a little bit of info on that on the Arkansas Sports Network. Look for maybe some highlights to come out of that one on ASN, and any highlights that you guys may have, let us know just by tweeting us at ASN. And hey, we'll probably put them on the show here if we can, especially if it's a big time highlight. So definitely let us know as far as your big time performers. Maybe you'll make the primetime performers next week. So there's a lot of good things going on with us, Bill. Again, we appreciate Tommy Kraft and Ty Richardson allowing us to be on their platforms. And you know what? We're going to have you and see you next week.